I surrender to the Almighty my mind, speech, and body. Vanakkam. We have set out to read the Thirukkural, which is one of the important literary works of the Tamil civilization. In the last session, I introduced the meaning of the word Aram. Simply put, Aram is the order found in nature. When we align our lives towards this natural order, life flourishes. Thirukkural gives the Aram for the conduct of human life. I raised a few questions in the last video and today I will attempt to answer some of them. Who wrote Thirukkural? Thirukkural was written by a poet called Thiruvalluvar, and very little is known about Thiruvalluvar. His name is referenced in the palm leaves of some other written works of a much later time period. This here is a statue of Thiruvalluvar in the Marina Beach in Chennai, India. The board below the statue says that he belonged to the time period of 1 BC. But many researchers are still debating on this time period. This is another statue of Thiruvalluvar in a small island near Kanyakumari, the southernmost tip of the Indian peninsula. So even though we know very little about this author, it looks like he was a bold, daring and an honest person. I will tell you why. According to Tamil grammar, there are certain rules to write of the preface for any book. The preface or the prologue of a book is called as Payiram in Tamil. In those days, there wasn't a library or a digital catalogue to categorize books according to the subject. So the preface naturally became an important part of any book as it gives an overview about the contents. So this allowed a reader to spend his or her time wisely. The reader need not read the entire book to realize that it doesn't fit with her area of interest. And as per Nannul and Tolkapiyam, which are books on Tamil grammar, a preface should contain at the very least the name of the author, the place or the conference where the book made its debut, the name of the chairperson under whose leadership the book made its debut, and so on. And there were also criteria to decide who was qualified to write the preface. All books in Tamil literature have a Payiram in accordance to these criteria. The Thirukkural also contains a section on Payiram with 4 chapters, but none of them contain the required elements of the Payiram. Thiruvalluvar breaks all the rules. Interestingly, he does not even put down his name as the author of the book. Will I or you ever write a book that will stand good for thousands of years and leave our names out of it? We write books to make a name for us, don't we? We live in a time where people don't hesitate to steal others' ideas and publish as their own just to create a name. But here we have Thiruvalluvar, who wrote this incredible book and he left his name out of it. Why? It is said that he didn't mention his name because he believed that the concepts of Aram, which is what Thirukkural is all about, did not belong to him. Thiruvalluvar did not invent or create these Aram for life. He merely observed them from nature and recorded them in writing. To take ownership of the book would mean that the concepts were his original ideas, and which is not true. So he leaves his name out. How do we understand this? Let's take the example. A child runs to play in the rain while his mother warns, if you play for too long in the rain, you will catch a fever. Now the child does not listen and he plays in the rain for too long and he catches a fever. Does that mean that he caught a fever because his mother said so? No, he caught a fever because he played in the rain for too long. Now did his mother invent this rule and therefore the child fell sick? No, his mother knew this from her experience and warned the child. Whether she observed or not, such an order always existed in nature. So similarly, Aram existed in nature long before Thiruvalluvar wrote about it. He is only an observer, and that is why he did not record his name as the author of his work. I admire the truthfulness of the poet. But why should Thiruvalluvar take the effort to write this book? What was the need to tell Aram for everyone? Is it so important? Our ancestors tell us that however wealthy, intelligent and clever a person might be, a peaceful and happy life is only for those who walk the path of Aram. We are living in a world where we believe that anything is possible using our intelligence. We can become favorites of influential people. It's okay to speak a few lies and be a little dishonest and somehow climb the ladder of success. It doesn't matter how we get there. But our ancestors tell us that all of these can bring us to a certain level of success in life, but peace cannot be achieved in this manner. Only by aligning our lives with nature can we bring peace into our lives. Coming to the next question, how did the author Thiruvalluvar observe Aram? Now, in order to understand that, we need to understand a little bit about how our ancestors understood the human species. It is said that the humans have 6 senses. What is the 6th sense? We humans understand this world through our sense organs. We know that we have 5 sense organs in our body: the skin, the tongue, the eyes, the nose and the ears. So we are able to experience the world in all the 5 senses. For example, we can see a sugar candy, we can smell it, we can feel it, we can taste it, and we can hear it break when we bite into it. So we are able to experience the sugar candy by getting 5 different inputs from the candy. Now when we see a candy, which part of us saw the candy? Can we say that the eye saw the candy? No, the eye did not do the seeing. It is actually an intelligence inside of us that used the eye as an instrument to see the candy. I hope we are able to get that. Just as how when we use a spectacle or telescope to see things, we don't say that the spectacle or the telescope saw the object. It does not have any intelligence. They are only instruments that is used by an intelligent being. So same is the case with the sense organs. It is the observer's intelligence that makes use of the sense organs to get the input from the world around us. So our ancestors made the differentiation between the sense organ and the user of the organ. The sense organ is not the intelligent entity by itself. An intelligent entity inside this body is able to use this organ. And that intelligent entity is called as uyir in Tamil. Uyir. In English, maybe we can use the word soul. I am not clear about the definition of the word soul. So I am going to stick to the word uyir. Uyir is the pure intelligence in ourselves. Uyir has no shape or smell or size or weight. It is only the intelligence inside us that ultimately receives the experience of this life. Our ancestors classified life based on the number of senses used by the uyir in experiencing life. Some forms of life can experience the world only in one sense, that is the sense of touch. For example, plants. They can sense the presence of water and the presence of sunlight and grow towards it using the sense of touch. Some other creatures like worms and snails, it seems they have 2 senses, touch and taste. Creatures like the head lice and ants and termites experience the world through 3 senses, touch, taste and smell. Snakes and crabs experience the world through 4 senses, touch, taste, smell and sight. Animals and birds experience the world through 5 senses, touch, taste, smell, sight and hearing. So if animals also have 5 senses and humans also have 5 senses, then what is the difference between animals and humans? Humans can think and make decisions. They can analyze and arrive at conclusions, and they can plan their lives. However hard we may try, we cannot make a cow or a dog to read a complex book like Thirukkural and plan its life. Only humans can do that. This is because humans are blessed with a sixth sense organ called as the mind, and it is different from the brain. Because of the presence of mind, we are able to think and analyze. Some researchers argue that the mind is present in the animals too, but it is not fully developed as a human mind. Just as how a blind person has eyes but cannot see, animals have a mind which is either non-functional or underdeveloped. And those animals whose mind is somewhat developed but not to the extent of humans are the ones most suited for domestication, and cows and dogs are good examples. Now, the mind cannot be seen or touched, but it is there. We can see it working in our lives. We constantly plan our lives, we make decisions, and we form an understanding about the workings of the world. So I think we can all agree that humans do have a mind, but we cannot see it. Now, there is a word in Tamil to refer to those things whose presence cannot be touched or seen, but it can be felt. Such subtle objects are called as sukkumam objects, and the mind is a sukkumam organ. The presence of mind is also indicated by the ability of humans to talk and smile. Animals cannot talk or smile. Their communication is limited and cannot be equal to that of a human. Interestingly, our ancestors also said that human babies do not have a well-developed mind either, which is why in Tamil, babies are referred to with the pronoun it. It cries, it sleeps, it is hungry, and not he or she. He or she will be used only when the baby has developed a maturity to talk and smile. So, to summarize everything, our ancestors concluded that humans receive inputs from six senses, and the sixth sense is called as the mind, and it is the uyir, the intelligent entity inside us, that receives the experience of the inputs from the world outside. So I hope we are clear so far. Now they go one step further and zoom in on the mind. The mind, they say, is not just one single piece. It has four parts. The first part is the portion that analyzes the information, and this is called as the Manam. The second part of the mind is the one that finalizes the analysis, and this is called as the Budhi. And the third part is that part that makes us identify ourselves as I analyzed, I finalized. So this part of the mind is called as the Ahangaram. And all of these three reside on a base called as the Chitham. So Chitham is the base from which and on which the other three parts of the mind are formed. So you can see in this figure, I have the outer circle representing the Chitham, and then we have the Manam, Budhi and the Ahangaram, which is residing on the Chitham. And all of these four together are called as the Anthakarnam. Sometimes the word Manam is also used loosely to refer to these Anthakarnams. In English, we use the word mind to mean all of these functions as happening within the brain. But this is how our Tamils understood things. Let's go with them and see where they are taking us. So the Manam, Budhi, Ahangaram and Chitham are the four Anthakarnams. Why am I saying all of this information? You see, this is crucial in understanding the answer to the next question: how was Thiruvalluvar able to record the Aram from nature and why we should believe him? But I will get into the details of that in the next video. Since I have introduced many new terms today, I will end here and allow for the information to sink in. I will see you all soon. Thank you for listening. Nandri Vanakkam.